I am Lori Watson, and my business is Absolute Pilates. Absolute Pilates Plus is my website, because I do a little bit more than just Pilates. I do a lot of functional training, and
Oh, cool.
I have a little bit of a gyrotonic background as well. And I live in San Jose, California.
Nice. So what about the functional training part of it? What do you do in terms of that the training side?
I work with a lot of older clients, as they, active agers, as we call them now, which I kind of, I guess, fall into that category. But I work a lot with training their, working with their balance, and making sure that they, that their legs are strong, and then they can move their joints. And I also, one of my biggest part of what I do is I work with people with back injuries. So it all kind of comes together.
Yeah. Actually, and it's funny, on the back injuries piece, people say that all the time, I have a back injury, and that can mean so many different things.
Exactly.
So what does that mean? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for the people who come to see you?
Well, sometimes I have worked with people that are, just have their chronic back pain for whatever. But me specifically, I've been through a lot. I've had quite a few surgeries, and in 2020, right prior to the pandemic, I had a fusion in my lumbar spine. So wow. I would have to say my focus really goes towards that, not just I strained my back when I was running, but actually somebody who is maybe going to have surgery or just had surgery. Okay. And I've gotten very good at modifying for myself, and I always call myself the Modification Queen, because I look at the exercise, and if it's not available to me or to the person, I figure out, well, what can we do that's at least has the essence of the exercise. So
yes, there's that saying, like, it's a cheap exercise to make it's a cheap gift to make an exercise harder. Right? Like, I mean, I can make a push-up, a clap push-up, or behind the back, or you can make something crazy at that end, but like, how do you scale it back so people get the essence and the feeling and the connection and all those different things? So
that can be challenging.
Yeah.
And so
I love that too, right? So do you have like kind of tools in your toolbox that you go to, or is it really just looking at the person and figuring out where they need to be, sort of thing?
Tools, yes. I mean, just from variety of workshops, classes, the
people you've seen, and
but a lot of it's just looking and seeing what they need. What are your goals? Do you want to pick up your grandkids?
Yeah.
Do you want to walk around the block? What is it that you want to do? So
yeah. There's a lady in my area. I was walking around the other day, and this older lady is doing her walk, and found out afterwards that she was 78, and she asked me, how do I become a personal trainer?
Awesome.
I was like so excited. She's like, really? So yeah, there's a lot of people my age are still active and still doing stuff. And I go to a gym, and there's some 24-year-old personal trainer there, and they don't know what I'm going through. They don't and you know what I mean? So we talked about ageism a little bit yesterday on one end, but now she's looking from the other perspective of like,
right.
If we're really talking about representation, age is an element. Do I see anyone in my age bracket who is doing what I'm trying to do?
Yes, because I'm 65, and I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, but if I didn't know how to do things, I don't know that I'd necessarily be comfortable with a 25-year-old trainer, because that's exactly it. They don't know. They don't have the experience to understand what my body is actually going through.
Right. Now, and it's so funny, like, this is almost like this part of the conversation, Lori, is where it can look so hypocritical when I talk to different people.
Yes.
Right. So let me just give a little caveat here, because this is the exact same dialogue we could have if I have someone who walks into my space who is overweight, or who has had who has scoliosis, or is
Mm.
I can be like I'm not that, so I can't speak to that, or I can be humble and inquisitive and explore movement with these people and help them to get to that place where they can find it. And then if it's beyond me, refer them out to someone where they have a better connection.
Right.
Is that
Agreed.
fair?
Agreed. Yes.
Okay. Because I know that as a personal trainer back in the day, well, I'm still a personal trainer, but like you always had a sense like I can help everyone, and not from a cocky way. I can help everyone, but it's like I want to help everyone. So let me figure this out.
Right. A lot of people, I think sometimes people have lost that,
Yes.
and I don't know why, and it's younger and older,
Mm-hmm.
but they've lost that idea of, well, what can I do to help?
Yes. Right.
And I don't,
Exactly.
yeah, and like I said, I don't know why, but it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, and I think that's why, like, you see Clarissa's comment there. You don't have to be 65 to understand how to modify an exercise, and I think
Right.
that's it, right? Like, I mean, I have had, over the year, like 20 years doing this, I've seen and worked with a lot of people, and there's certain people that are not like me that I work with, and we have these fantastic working relationships, and then there's other people that you just don't connect with,
Right.
and in
And
this,
that's
in
a
it,
huge part.
yes. Yeah, yeah. And then you realize who you really like to work with as well. Like I'll give one last example from my life. Like people who like to do like bodybuilding competitions. Like I've never had a passion to understand how to train people for competition. It's not
Okay.
my thing. Not my thing. There's others who are great at it and they can understand counting macros and when to do it. And it's like have at it. Like I'm gonna work with more functional training people and do other things and I'll just do it. You know what I mean? So like you find your thing, right? So I mean like
Right.
it's yeah, that's the piece with that ultimately I'm getting to. So yeah, it's just interesting that whole dialogue around ageism and the perspective of people like that. So yeah, interesting. Interesting. It's interesting. The so in terms of your own back injuries and stuff like that, can you talk about that? Like haven't you had this surgery just recently as well?
Well, I mean, it started way back. In
Yeah.
'83, I was in a bad auto accident.
Yeah.
And so I've had, my first surgery was in '84. So I've had 5 surgeries for my back. One was in the thoracic. They removed my first rib, but the others were all in the lumbar spine. And so not all at one time, very spaced over many, many years.
Yes.
But eventually that lumbar area became unstable. So things were just kind of doing their own thing and moving around, and
Yes.
so it was it I had to have a fusion to
Yeah.
just to make sure it was all stable. So
Yeah.
it's and like I said, it's none of the surgeries have all been far between. It's not like every
Yes.
year or something like that, but
Right.
um
So it heals in a certain way, and then you realize that there's still a
yeah.
muscle imbalance or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
well, and whatever, yeah, I don't know so much a muscle imbalance, but I had some scoliosis,
Hmm.
which, and then it became even worse because became more of a degenerative thing. So I was like really squished on my left side, and so that was creating another problem. So when they did the
Yes.
fusion, they also put spacers in so that now my spine is nice and straight. That lumbar
Right.
area is not all curved anymore. But
Right.
fun times.
Yeah, I know, right? And as a movement teacher, that's fun times too, right? Because we spend all day long talking with people and trying to help them from a movement perspective.
Right.
How, like, I mean, is there a part of you that feels like I had to have surgery? Like, is there, like, how does that feel from the perspective of, you know, a lot of times people want to stay away from surgeries
Right.
and invasive stuff like that. Like, was that a challenge for you going to that place, or was it like, no, this is the best thing for my body, don't talk to me? Like,
Uh, Eventually that was, but
yeah,
you know, every time I had a surgery, it was at the point where I had to have it. I went
yes,
as long as I could.
yeah,
And for this one, I always said, oh, I'm never going to get fused. Never say never.
mm,
um,
yeah,
but the reality was I was in so much pain. I had to,
yeah,
I absolutely had to. And there is that, well, I'm a Pilates instructor and I'm a trainer and I should be able to get past this. But I
mm,
couldn't.
yeah,
But because of my Pilates, I'm so much better. I was strong. And so
yes,
I went into it with, all right, this is going to make things better. And it did. It did. It's
great,
been great.
yes. And like Olivia says,
Yeah.
Pilates teachers are humans too.
Yes, we are.
Well, you know, our clients don't see us as humans sometimes,
That's true. That's true.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, Lori, but there's times when if I like sleep in or if I'm you know I'm mad about something, they almost like revel in your humanity because they have you on this pedestal,
Yeah.
right?
But we
So
are human.
that's
That's exactly true.
we are human.
Yeah. We have bad days.
Hmm.
So no, it's it's been a very interesting journey, I have to say. And when I had my surgery in 2020, it was February, and I had it on my birthday, so it was kind of like woohoo,
Yes,
I'm getting a new spine on my birthday, and so
yes,
um, and then of course shortly after that the world locked down.
right.
And but initially I had been doing March Madness for quite a few years,
Okay.
and I said there's just
Yes.
no way I can't do it. And so I said to my husband, I said, well, maybe I could use you as a model, that would be great. And he was
Hmm.
like, I don't
No.
know. And then
Yes.
I thought I can do this because this is what I do. So I did
Yes.
the March Madness, and boy, I didn't move too. I wasn't moving a whole lot, but that's okay. That's
That's
okay.
totally okay.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a good, and it was good for people to see that. Look, I just had this, but I'm still moving because I believe that movement heals. I just believe you
Yes.
need to move somehow, even if you're
Right.
sitting and you're just moving your feet.
Yep.
So that it was
Love
quite a
that.
challenge. My
Yeah.
husband was wonderful. He recorded everything for me so that I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
See,
that was
he
very
still
fun.
gets his brownie points, even though he
Yes, that's
didn't
right. That's
choose to
right.
go. You know, always cheering for the husbands out there. Like, good for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's true, right? And one of my favorite lines to say with people is like, that counts.
Yes. Everything. 5 minutes.
That counts.
I tell
Yeah.
my clients that all the time.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get up and maybe just stand there and move a little bit.
Yeah.
Five
Yeah. For
minutes.
sure.
That's all you
Honestly,
have. That's perfect.
yes. There, I was like, oh, I only got to do this week. That counts.
Yes,
You know, that's good.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So no, that's great. Thanks for sharing the story about your back surgery. I think
Oh,
that
sure.
that's people need to hear those stories. I think that those are the things that connect us, shows our humanity, shows how we navigate our own challenges, and it's almost you get excited about the fact that people can see your journey and progression through it, right? Like the highs and
Yes,
lows of that.
that's true. That's true.
Hmm. Sorry, just saying hello to your people coming in here. Hi, Ali Green.
I know.
So
I
this
saw
is
some names that I know too.
yes. Well, that's the beauty of these conversations. Everyone that you follow comes into the feed as well, right? So now it's on your page as well that you're here. So we saw well, Jessica is here, and we can talk about Momentum Fest and
Momentum
uh,
Fest, the best, the best.
yeah,
I've been there
yeah.
all 5 years.
Wow. Yeah.
I was there from the beginning, and it's just the most wonderful event. The connections and the friends, and it's just incredible.
Yes.
And
Well, that's,
I evidently I have some wicked dance
she
moves.
can get down. Yeah. Nice. So what makes this so awesome? What's so awesome about this conference? Because everyone can say that about every conference. Like, it's just like, oh, I met some
Um,
friends and
it's nobody feels like they're better. None of like the teachers are humble. They nobody feels like they're better than anybody else. It's just like, let's
yes.
come, let's move. Everybody is generous and giving, and hugs all around. It's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
It's just, you know, everybody that comes to the event, if it's their first time or, you know, they've been coming every year, you meet new people and you make these connections from all over. I met somebody that I've been friends with online, from the UK. She came. I was an ambassador, and she came, and she was an ambassador, and it was wonderful, you know,
Nice.
in person. And so, yeah, it's just the most, it's the most fun.
That's so rich.
You
That's so
walk
good.
away with, I mean, it's like your soul is just like filled with joy and love and happiness. It's just the most wonderful. It's hard to put into words. But
No,
if
I
you
feel
guys
that.
don't go, you got to go next year. If you didn't go this year,
Oh, I
everybody,
know.
you got to come, Martin.
I know. It hurts so much. I was saying yesterday, I was like looking through the scroll, like it was almost like I was like outside or like what's happening on
Looking
the other
in.
side of the fence? Because like, oh man, it's so good. I saw Andrea was there, and I had Clarissa and Tammy and Tasha Edwards were on my chat yesterday, and they were just talking about how, like you were saying, like everyone's so humble and just in there sharing, and like Clarissa covered, I taught a class in Tasha's text. Tasha had to leave, and there's not this era of I have to follow this person, or like or people leaving because Tasha's not teaching anymore, like like all that
Right.
petty stuff, like none of that was happening, right? So like that
That
stuff
it's
is so
true.
good.
It's true. There isn't any of that that goes on. Yes, Melissa, we missed you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and Leslie's saying my heart is so full, the only words I can keep saying.
It's
Yes.
true. It's true. I said to my husband, I said, I just, you know, it's like it filled my cup. You know, I'm good.
Yeah, that's so good.
All
Like
the love. It's
I was
wonderful.
talking to Jessica yesterday too about that. Like I almost like telling her, like, just can you pause for a moment and just think about the fact that your vision has filled so many people.
Yes. What a vision.
What a vision.
Yeah, I agree.
Like that must just feel so amazing. Cause like like that feeling when you come up with an idea and it's like, wow, that just landed really good. But and it impacts like your one client or like your five people in your group class. You have an idea and you throw it out there and it just like, you just nail it and you're
Mhm.
like, man, I'm good at this. Like that sense of like just gratitude for something working. I was like, can you imagine? Like Jessica, like 5 years in, and people walking away like my heart is so full and this is so good. And I'm just like, I'm looking forward to next year, and like this is my
Oh
first year
my, yes.
speaking, and like it's just a launch pad for so many things. Just I just want to just hang out on that moment for a moment, just celebrate that with her and with you and
Yes.
with everyone.
Yeah. And Mindy said, you know, that it's just so, it's such an incredible event. The people are incredible. So yeah, no, it's very wonderful. Very happy that you did this, Jessica. We
Absolutely.
love Jessica.
Yes. Love is there for sure. Oops, lost wisdom. So, Lori, I always love asking this question too. How did you find Pilates?
How did I find Pilates? Well, um, after I had my second back surgery in '87, we lived in Santa Barbara, and I was going to a chiropractor masseuse. He would massage me, and he had this reformer sitting in the corner. And I said, "Ooh, that's like some torture machine, but that looks fun." And
Yes.
and he's like, I don't really know much about it. I just acquired it. And he said, you can do some footwork and stuff. And I got to do some footwork, and then it was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. But there was nothing in Santa Barbara at the time in '87. And the closest place that I could find anything was in perhaps Thousand Oaks, but LA. And there was just, I couldn't drive 2 hours to learn something like that. And then as it turned out, we moved. My husband's job took us to the East Coast, and in our little town in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, there was one Pilates studio. Took me a year and a half to get in, but
wow.
because she was solo, but I did, and from the very first day that I was in her studio, I just, I said to my husband that this is amazing. I feel great. Yes. And I was taking Pilates twice a week, and she was Ramana trained. So there was not any modifications. You just kind of got on and you did it. And I didn't even think about that. But within 6 months, I was like, I feel so great. I could actually shovel snow. Not going to, but I could shovel snow if I needed to.
Right.
And I was hooked from the beginning.
Yes.
But then I just kept taking, sessions, and it was 6 years later before I ever took any training. So I really had it in me. I knew.
Yeah, absolutely.
I knew Pilates very well at that point. So yeah.
So when was it, like, going from 6 years as an enthusiast and as a student? What was the moment you said, I want to do this as a career? I want to become a teacher, like?
Well, we had moved from Rhode Island to Massachusetts, and so I no longer had my studio I was going to, but I found a person who was going, she worked in a gym. She did a mat class. And so I went to the mat class, and then I found out that she actually had her own little small studio within the gym. And so I started seeing her, and she said, you have to teach. You have to teach. So, and in at that time, there weren't a whole lot of training.
Right. Yeah.
Studios around. So, in 2001, 2002, there weren't a whole lot of options. So, but that way it was all right.
Yeah.
I found a way. I made it work. It was great.
That's
never
great.
Looking back. And I have a fabulous studio in my home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. Have you always had it in your home, or is that a result of COVID?
When we moved back to California and we're living in San Jose, first thing I did is I said I have to have a reformer, and so I bought a peak combination unit. So I've got the tower, and then and I started teaching a few people privately, and then I got onto the there are quite a few studios, and so I was teaching amongst going to many studios, and I'm bouncing around, and the main studio that I worked at was closing, and so I had the opportunity. I never really wanted a brick and mortar, but I had the opportunity to do that. So we got reformers, and my husband and I, made towers, and so I have combination units, and made the beds for it and everything. He made me chairs.
Nice.
So I had a brick and mortar. I was in in there for 6 years and then decided to, you know, just bring it all back home.
Yes.
So my living room and my dining room is my main studio with my equipment. So,
Nice.
and then I also have a garage that 2/3 of it he finished, and it's fabulous. So that was where my mat was, and I have a gyro unit in there. So yeah, no,
Wow.
it's great.
Do you
Pandemic
like,
kind of slowed things down a bit, but that's okay.
yeah, but that's fine. Like, do you charge admission to go to your house? That sounds like super fun.
Yeah, you want to see the equipment?
Yes, actually, it's like show and tell.
See at
That's
the door.
crazy. Yeah.
And then I also
No,
have
that's
this
good.
awesome pup,
Okay.
Ivy, that, you
I
know,
saw, yeah.
if she's usually, right now she's laying by the door, but usually she's involved in everything. So she loves people coming to the house and being part of it. So
Yes.
she's
Nice.
the Pilates dog.
Yes. Like that emotional support animal for
Exactly.
people. That's so sweet. You said something there, Lori, which I hear people say it, and then I think for myself too, like those first moments and those first experiences with Pilates, and you're like, this is amazing. And it just seems like it's a very common trend that when people have whatever their first experience of Pilates is, that is what they try and bring to everyone else in their first experience of Pilates.
Yeah. I just, you know, for me also, I thought if this could make me feel better, and I have, oh, I have to share that, because I don't want people to be in pain. I want people to live, and I know thrive is you know, the buzzword, but I want them to just
To thrive.
and you know, be able to move and not be in pain. And that's what I really try. That's what I really strive for as my goal.
Yeah, yeah.
You
No, I
know,
hear that.
and I'm one person, and I've had plenty of people that have not been you know, the right
Didn't
fit
really
for,
experience it. Yeah, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so they they you know, they go on, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, so, and that's okay. That's okay, because you know, as Leslie and Erica and all these other people, I'm not for everybody.
Right.
You know, that's why there's other Pilates instructors out there. And so yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
True.
And you know, so yes. But you know, interestingly enough, it's you know, I never would have thought exactly this would be my career, but I was in college, I was a PE major, specifically an adaptive PE major.
Okay.
So very interesting how it's all come around.
It always is, right?
So
Like, you
yeah.
know, these things culminate in such an interesting way. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And then what if you never had that person that said you need to be a teacher? You know, like I mean, like
Right.
there's always like, not always, but I love hearing those stories too when someone's like basically like, come follow me. Like this is what you need to do, and people can't tell you what to do, but when it resonates in you like that, you're just like,
Yeah.
okay,
I obviously needed to hear it.
yes,
So yeah, and I'm not sure if I would have come to that conclusion myself, at least not right then.
right,
You know, it's like, well, how you know, what do I do? And she was just like, okay, you know, and she
yeah,
was super supportive. It was great. We shared her little space, and we named it Absolute Pilates. That was, you know,
yes,
that's how we, you know, presented ourselves to people. It was cool. It was very cool. But of course, then I
yes,
moved to California, and she stayed there. She's, as far as I've lost track of her,
okay,
because she's gone off and done quite a few other things. But
hmm,
she was very into yoga as well.
okay.
So But
So
yes,
you kept the name, or you're
I
like
kept the
the
name,
second?
and
Yeah.
she was like, well, I'll be Absolute Pilates East, you can be Absolute Pilates West. And so that's kind
Yeah.
of when I came here, what that was the almost, I don't know, not a joke, but that was like what was in my brain, you know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's fantastic. So now I saw, is Leslie and Erica like your coaches, like business coaches? Are you like part of
yes,
the
yes,
agency and all that stuff?
I'm an agency and I'm part of Level Up with Erica.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course Erica is in agency a bit now too, which is kind of
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, no, that's great. And can you just speak to just the benefits you've had of just being in those programs and stuff? Because I really, sometimes people are on the fence of whether they need to invest in some kind of like oversight or mentoring or coaching programs and stuff. So like, just like, how has that helped you?
it's definitely giving me more confidence.
Okay.
When I first
Hey, Troy.
was starting with Leslie, in fact, I met her the very first year at Momentum Fest in
Okay.
2018, and I was very shy.
Mhm.
I always get very, very nervous around, you know, people I don't know. And so I was
Mhm.
very shy. And so I wasn't really speaking to a lot of people. I wasn't going out of my way to talk to people because it
Yes.
was not in my comfort zone. But I don't think anybody this year that met me would have even known
That person. Yeah.
that person, because
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm now so much more outgoing and more comfortable going up to people that I don't know and say, hey, I'm Lori, I'm from San Jose.
That's
So
awesome.
it's definitely given me a lot more confidence.
That's worth the price of admission right there.
I think
You know what
so.
I'm saying? Because I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like whatever else you have in your head, if you can't get over yourself,
Right, right. We're
you're
our
never gonna
own
get to
worst
those
enemy.
pieces. Right.
So yes.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. Got
So,
some
you know,
hearts from Mindy and
I
Leslie for
think it's
that.
very valuable, you
Yeah.
know, to and you know, of course, with agency, there's a lot of the coaching for your business and which translates to your life. Really, it's
Yes. Right.
not just your business. And Brad and Leslie are amazing, and they have
Mm-hmm.
this wonderful safe space that you can do. You know, you've got all these different people that you can bounce ideas off of,
Yes.
and then on the Level Up side, the information that I get from Erica, you know, because it's like sort of my personal training background, you know, kind of
Yes.
meets Pilates, and it's amazing. It's
Mm.
I get so much great information, and you know, a lot of times you have all this in your brain, but you forget.
Yeah. Or you
It's
can't
like, oh
organize it, right? It's just
yeah.
all swirling around there.
Yeah,
Yep.
and she brings on, you know, amazing people to the platform. Um, yeah, it's you know, and then of course with agency we've got webinars, and they also bring on these amazing people. So
Yes.
it's valuable. It's valuable, and it's important. I really believe it's important to keep learning,
Absolutely.
to not just, you know, like, okay, I'm trained. There you go.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
Exactly.
So
Doesn't work like that,
it
people.
doesn't work like that, no.
Doesn't work like that.
So yes,
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That confidence piece is so huge. And like if we
it really
circle
is.
back to that feeling amazing moment that you experience, that you're trying to get your people to experience, those are the things that I feel like fuels me, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
can I be more consumed with getting people to that place of feeling what they need to feel in their body, and let that be more important than my feelings or my fears, or the fear of a no, or the fear of
Right.
introducing myself. Like, I mean, I need to be consumed with what I have to offer them more so than, you know, that fear of whatever it is, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good stuff. Just reading a few of the comments here. So Village J Bear saying yes, agree. Paul Lottie's there's a great sense of community within those groups, and
Yes.
yes, you know, so agree. So, and Mindy was saying earlier that she has come so far. So
Thank you,
That's
Mindy.
good. Yes. So what do you have going on now? What programs do you have on? What online stuff? Is there anything like even in person, like where you're at with your business and how can we support you in that?
Well, I have a few virtual things that I do. A
Okay.
Mac class virtually, and I've decided that I want to continue with my Mac classes to be virtual. It's fabulous because I can really see everybody, and I really enjoy that.
Yes.
As well as a couple clients that I see privately virtually still.
Mm-hmm.
My in person is still small. But that's all right. I
Mm-hmm.
am I am working on putting together a workshop.
Okay.
I'm being pushed by my coaches,
Yeah.
gently nudged uh, to
Yes.
to uh, to put together a workshop on for back care, and
Yes.
I believe it's probably going to start with a like a mat class that is full of modifications so that people can see,
Yes.
what is possible when you have, something that you're a back injury or a back, something with your back that you can't um,
Yes.
get over. So, um,
Great.
so Leslie
I
says,
love,
yes, she is.
yes. Don't you, Lori, do you see how you just like suddenly got just called to accountability and making this
Oh yeah, I
happen?
know. I
Yeah.
know. Yes.
Yes.
And I I'm excited. I don't know how or what, but my one of my plans going forward is I'm planning to apply to be a presenter at Momentum Fest,
Great.
to do a modification mat class. So Jessica,
Sure.
I'm coming.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and that's exciting. It's scary. It's scary, but I feel it's time. I need to do that.
Yeah, I think, Lori, you have to understand the world is waiting for you.
Thank you. Yeah, that I get told that.
It's true. It
Yeah.
really is true.
And I was watching, people at Momentum Fest, and I was watching sometimes as they were doing movements and they were wincing, and I thought, maybe you should, but I can't say that, but I felt like saying, oh, maybe try this. And I have to say, Ida is on here. I have a couple friends that watched me and said, okay, how's Lori going to do that? And I'm willing to share because I just, like I said, I think everybody needs to move and everybody needs to be out of pain to the best of their ability.
Right.
So, yes.
Yes. Hey,
Hi,
Sarah.
Sarah. Next Generation. That's my friend in the UK
Yeah,
that
she's
came to
wonderful.
Momentum Fest. Hi.
Yeah, so that's exciting, Lori.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's a little out of my comfort zone,
Hmm.
but if you don't go out of your comfort zone, you don't grow, right?
Right.
So,
Did you just say that for you, or did you just say that for me?
well, for me, but if it applies,
Yes.
yeah, because I
I
mean, look at you, look at what you've done, by starting this.
absolutely. It's exciting, right? Like just when you're consumed with passion, it just takes you so far. It really
You're
does,
right.
you know? Yeah, it does. I just comment here says, Lord, you've helped me immensely.
Thank you.
Hmm. No, it's yeah, that's great. Nice. Well, I am cheering you on. I just want to let you know that as you do stuff, I'll like repost it. Like we're here cheering for you. Want to see when your workshop's coming out. Next year, I want to see your picture on that presenter's poster that comes out.
So do I.
You know what I mean? Like do all those things. Just lean into it. Like, you have lived experience, real experience in terms of like the teaching, all those different things. Run with it. Like, that's your, I mean, we can all help everyone, but like, you have a corner where you can just really share and help people and let them feel amazing. So run with it.
Thank you. Yes, I'm learning to do that. That's another thing that the coaching has been amazing for.
Yeah.
You know, that's that confidence piece, I guess. You know,
Yes.
it's like, okay, get out of my head and go.
Get out, exactly. Honestly, and it's, I mean, it's a constant thing. It's not like you take this course and then you're like, thank you, thanks for coaching, I got this. Like, it's gonna come up in so many different contexts.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel it here when I'm talking with people too, right? Like, you talk with someone, you're like, whoa, they have a lot more experience. Whoa, they speak to, wow, I really want to do that one day, and they're doing it right now. Like, you go through all those things, and you have to keep coming back to your successes and coming back to who you are. Like Stefan was saying earlier, man, all that stuff is key. But like, you're in a good spot.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got some good people around you.
Yeah, I do. I feel like they've helped me a lot. Just not just the coaching end of things, but the friendships with them and with other people. You know, it's been incredible. So
right.
Yay!
Get it. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
And also shout out to your husband for building equipment for you too. I gotta give like one more shout out to the guys there.
Shout out to Dave for making my equipment. Oh. He's like, oh.
Oh, yes, good.
He says, my pleasure.
There you go. I heard that.
He's amazing. He made me the latest is this. This is my baby chair. My
baby chair?
chair.
That is slick.
It's beautiful.
I want to build one now.
And it's purple because that's my favorite color.
There you go.
So yeah.
Exactly.
No. I said,
like,
this is what I want, and I'm going to buy it. And he said, no, you're not.
Yeah.
I can make it. I said, okay, great. So yes.
Nice.
I need a Dave. That's funny.
I need a Dave. Yes. That's awesome. Lord, we just burned through the hours so fast. That is crazy. Oh yeah, and he flies planes?
Yes, he's an aerobatic pilot.
Oh, what pilot?
Aerobatic pilot. You know, you see, you go to an air show and those guys that go up and do all these crazy things.
Come on.
Well, he does that, but he does it for competition, which means that there's somebody on the ground judging him. You know, it's like, what? Oh, did he do a good loop? Did he do? Yeah. Yeah. We have 4 planes.
That's crazy. And
planes.
Laura, we have 1 minute and 50 seconds left, and you're telling me this guy's a pilot?
Yeah, he's a really good one. He's a really good one. So I'm not the most comfortable flyer, but he loves it.
All right, so round 2 is tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. I'd love to have you on again.
You want to know about Dave?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Dave, just go on that link and just book a time. And but we got $120 left, so I do have to jump off. But
okay.
Thank you so much, Laura. This has been so fun, and I'm so excited to see all your programs that are coming out. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It truly has. It truly has.
Amazing. Thank you to everybody who joined us in the minute that's left. Mindy, Leslie, Pilate. Thank you to Christina and Stefan who came in earlier. So fun, so good. Phyllis Gibert, thank you so much. All right, Lori, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks, Andrew, as well. Okay, take care.
Okay, bye.